Hi, this is an episode of Ask Me Anything About Sex. You leave your questions in the comment section and I see them. And now it's time to answer. I am so glad that there are so many sex curious people out there who are asking questions about sex so they can have better sex lives. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Dr. Tanji, the sex doctor, board certified clinical sexologist, and your most trusted, honest, and fun sexpert on this platform. Join our worldwide sex positive movement by subscribing so you can be part of the conversation. Come and ask, share, and learn with all of us. You can also become a member of the Sex Curious and the Sex Intelligent Club so you can have access to exclusive content not available here. This is a judgment and shame-free zone, and we are ready to have you. Subscribe. Thanks. Now, back to all these sex questions, and let me warn you that no topic is off limits. First question, is it safe to drink the fluid that comes from a vaginal squirt? If you're a fan of vaginal ejaculation or squirting, this one is for you. If you're curious about squirting and want to learn more about it, I am leaving you a link to a previous video that I made about squirting. And yes, it's generally safe to drink female ejaculate, also known as vaginal fluid, as long as you know that the source is free from sexually transmitted infections. And how would you know that? Well, get tested. Both partners should get tested for STIs and share results. Use protection if in doubt. Use a dental dam during vaginal oral sex and rimming. Be honest. Communicate honestly with your partner about your perceived risk of having an STI based on your sexual history. Know that unprotected sex, including oral sex, always carries a risk of passing on STIs. If you feel like the source is good and the taste or experience of having your partner ejaculate on your face and mouth is appealing to you and they consent, enjoy. Dr. Tanji, what is the biggest penis you ever had? Well, thank you for being curious about my sex life. I do not have a measuring tape by my nightstand, so I don't have any statistics to share. But if you want to know the size of your penis, I am leaving you with a link below on a video about how to measure penis size. That way, you can go to your own sexual encounters with stats already at hand and ready to share. What about under the clitoral hood? I've washed regular every day, yet I see a small little white dot there in the sensitive area on the side that won't go. Even showering 2 times a day, 7 days a week, and nothing. Well, you may be referring to smegma. Smegma is a harmless combination of oils, skin cells, sweat, and other fluids that accumulate around the genitals. It looks like crumbly cheese and usually has a foul odor. The best way to prevent and treat smegma is to regularly wash your genitals and the surrounding areas, but with mild soap and clean water. Although most people do not have an issue with smegma, too much of it can be a problem. So usually, uncircumcised penises can accumulate a lot of smegma, but clitorises can too. Too much smegma can cause irritation or swelling, discoloration that presents as red, pink, purple, or gray skin, urinary tract infections, and cause the clitoral hood to stick to the clitoris, also called a clitoral adhesion. If you're not experiencing these pesky symptoms I just mentioned, just leave the smegma alone. By washing too often and with harsh soaps, you may be aggravating the problem. Avoid harsh soaps, scented cleaners or cleansers, powders, scrubbing, douching, or anything that might be too irritating for that delicate area. I always say, if it's too irritating to go into the eye, it doesn't have a place in your vagina or in your vulva. And make sure you see your primary care or your gynecologist if you notice pain, discomfort, changes in color in the area, or increased discharge. Also, make sure to get tested for sexually transmitted infections, as some symptoms of an STI can be confused with smegma. One last thing to mention is make sure that what you're referring to as that dot that is very relentless is actually smegma. It could be just something else, so you may want to get that checked. Is clitoromegaly abnormal or have any side effects while having sex? I have an enlarged clit and it affects satisfaction. I can't feel anything. Clitoromegaly, also called macroclitoris, is a clitoris that is larger than typical, although this may be relative. Why does a clitoris grow to be bigger than expected? Well, the reasons can be sexual arousal, it can be congenital, meaning you were born like that. The clitoris enlarges naturally during arousal and orgasm. However, it should return to its usual size shortly after. With clitoromegaly or a macro clitoris, the clitoris remains swollen and enlarged for an extended period of time, for a week or longer, and a person can be born with an enlarged clitoris or develop a macro clitoris later in life. Although the person did not say if they were born with a large clitoris or if it was enlarged over time, some of the reasons why a clitoris may enlarge include polycystic ovary syndrome or PCOS, using anabolic steroids, a tumor of the adrenal gland, using testosterone replacement therapy, a clitoral cyst, vulvitis, or inflammation of the vulva. The cause of the enlarged clitoris may determine the treatment. So, if the condition causes you distress, leads to a desensitized clitoris as you expressed, or you feel any discomfort in the clitoral or genital area, it is time to consult with a gynecologist. I discovered a sore or blister in my penis and was wondering, can too much masturbation cause friction to the penis to cause sores or blisters? If you ever find a blister or a sore on your penis, it is always a good idea to get it checked by your provider or a dermatologist. A blister or sore on the penis can be a sign of irritation from fabric, sweat, or friction, an allergic reaction to an ingredient in soap, fragrance, or detergent, contact dermatitis after your skin has come in contact with a chemical, genital warts, or a sexually transmitted infection. The only way to know what you have for sure is to go and get it checked as soon as possible. In the meantime, avoid causing further irritation by being very mindful of what you wear and what cleansers and chemicals you use around your genitals, and avoid sexual contact until you know the proper diagnosis and treatment. Can you do a video on your thoughts on face farting and human toilet? If you have a fart fetish, I have you covered. I made a video recently about fart fetish and I am posting it in the description. If you have a fart fetish and enjoy having your partner farting directly on your face, you are not alone. So many people enjoy this practice. There's even a podcast dedicated to discuss this practice, which is properly called a proctophilia. Specifically, having a partner fart on the face and mouth are all part of the same fetish, and while some may only want to hear and smell the farts, others want a more up close and personal experience by really having the fart directly into their nostrils and mouth. Just make sure that you negotiate boundaries and obviously consent with your partners or potential partners for this practice, and that you know the risk. It's important to always know the STI status of the person farting on your face so you can stay safe. Also, know that there is a risk of also contracting other infections of the gastrointestinal tract by having oral to anal contact. So, assess your risk tolerance and discuss the health status of your persons or the persons involved before engaging. If all are okay with the practice and consent, that's all that matters. Have your face farted on to your heart's content. Thank you for daring to ask and learn more about sex. Do you have specific questions? Browse my channel for more content that may address your specific interests, or leave your questions in the comment section below so I can answer them in a future video. This is Dr. Tanji, the Sex Doctor. See you next time.